Welcome to Gangsta's Paradise. This is why I kick cautionary street tales. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, and click that little bell. That way you can get notifications for whenever I drop a documentary. Keep it up with YouTube guidelines. I am not here to encourage folks to join gangs, cliques, mobs, or crews, but this is a fair warning if you choose to cross that line. Go over to teespring.com and purchase GP merch. I appreciate the support. Click the link in the description and start trading crypto. You will receive $25 for signing up. Welcome to Gangsta's Paradise. I appreciate y'all checking out the show. Salute to the audience. I gotta always appreciate the audience. Salute to Michigan, Ohio, New York, and Texas. Thank y'all for checking out Gangsta's Paradise. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. I appreciate it. For this one, I'm taking it back to the D, back to the grassroots, back to home base in the untold story of 6 Mile P.D.Q, otherwise known as Put 'em Down Quick. Folks will try to portray the guys as a gang. This is not a gang, it's a crew. A band of guys or brothers who got themselves together and came up with the name P.D.Q. Detroit is not a gang-oriented city, though there are gangs here. You might hear OGs from the hood refer to them as the young ones. Or like me, I call them my little brothers. They're grown now, the kings of 6 Mile, at least on our end. There's documentaries out there that start the 6 Mile movement out with 6 Mile Cheddar Grove, which the media label as a gang. Many of us been in that area since 83 or 84. And for people that try to compare 6 Mile to 7 Mile, historically, 6 Mile struggled to get notoriety in the city. It was looked at, it was hood. You know, you considered to be all the way in the hood if you're talking about 6 Mile. But today, you know, it's very popular right now. You know, rappers came along and they started yelling 6 Mile in their records. So it's like worldwide right now. So it's a lot of rappers out there that's champions for 6 Mile. Drugs became a popular thing to do in the hood. And the first big crack dealer in that area, in my opinion, was a guy named P.W. You had the Chambers brothers around there, but none of these guys really had a flag down in that neighborhood. They basically came and went. But the 6 Mile flag still remained strong throughout time. I might be considered an OG to the group to a certain degree, but the real OGs are Chuck and Lil Man. 6 Mile Lil Man was really hands-on with the group. Chuck is my man as I slowly walk folks through the 6 Mile movement. The 6 Mile movement is not a gang. It's not a bunch of drug dealers, just like anybody, just representing. That's it. 6 Mile Celestine used to be popping back in the day. My position with the 6 Mile thing is that I've been around there for a very long time, so I'm OG to a lot of people who came from around there. But there were things going on with me that I kept separated from the 6 Mile movement. Face English will be more familiar with that. So I tried to chill out as much as possible when I was in that area, which is not always the case. I met Eternal Flames, or Rob Lee, not too long after he got out of jail at that particular time. He told me he rapped. I was enthusiastic about that because we had a young guy in the hood that was interested in rapping, and I was excited about that. Rob was younger than me, and at that time I was doing my thing in the streets, and I would always have funk on me. And back in the days we called it gans. A few days later I was at his house, and he wasn't used to smoking gans. Plus he had just got out of jail. So I got him high. I probably was the first person that ever smoked gans with Rob, and that's a fact. But he got high and he just started busting flows. I must have sat there for a couple of hours just listening to him rap. This is before he formulated the groups. He ain't even had any beats yet. So every couple of weeks I would stop by with some gans while he writes songs. He hadn't recorded any songs yet, didn't have any beats, but one day someone on the streets came with a keyboard. Didn't cost much, and the thing wasn't sophisticated at all. I bought the keyboard and headed straight to Rob's house. I don't know what to do with this. Maybe you can make it work. I came back a couple of weeks later. He bought a drum machine and some other stuff, and he hooked the keyboard up. He started making his own beats. Him, Evil D, and Smoke Nitty was up there practicing the song they had just written. Of course, he got rid of the starter keyboard and got a more sophisticated keyboard that's more fitting for producing. I caught a case right there in front of Rob's house, right there on Elma. The police had rolled down on me right there at Houston, Whittier, and Hayes. I had just got this Chevy truck. I can't even remember the type of truck it was. It was like a Tahoe or something. But they rolled up on me right there at Houston, Whittier, and Hayes. I crossed the light, so I busted left at the first street, which was Elma. So I rolled up to the next corner. The police busted left on Houston Whittier. So when I got to the corner of that street on Elma, the police was at that corner on Houston Whittier. So I proceeded to go up to the next corner. When I got up to the corner, the police was at that corner. They were on Houston Whittier, and I was on Elma. So I said, I'm gonna go to Rob's house and chill out for a little while I get the police can go on somewhere. So I pulled down to Rob's house, parking in the driveway. The police then flapped around and grabbed me and threw me on the car. And I had a bundle of heroin in my pocket. I had forgot I even had this bundle in my pocket. Riding around high, not paying attention, that type of thing. And I ended up catching the case. I had did about 3 years worth of probation for that case. You really can't go through the 6 Mile thing without putting P.D.Q in there. That's a fact. Before we get to this, salute to Al. He was around there too. Cheedy and Wolf, my mans and them, salute. Salute to Rob's sister, Mimi. Let's get to it. Like I said, we're gonna go to the beginning of P.D.Q. I got to get a couple of my guys on here to get a real insight on P.D.Q. I got Day-Day, my guy Dates. I got my guy D-Lo. I got my brothers on here. D-Lo, taking it back to the beginning of P.D.Q. And I want to thank y'all for joining me. Tell me, or let the audience know, how did P.D.Q in your view came together?
I started from 6 Mile young money, walking down the street just jumping on people. We ran into another era and came up with P.D.Q. After everybody started going to jail over there, we migrated to Charm and started back to my man's days, Robert Lee now, Perry, Wayne, and came up with P.D.Q, put them down quick. Jumped just whooping everybody in the neighborhood. 15, 16, some of us 14, 13, some of them was like 12.
I was like 12, 13. I was like 12, 13.
Okay.
So they was like 15, 16.
Give me your version on the start of P.D.Q.
My version would be like, if we were just all of us grew up in the same hood, just homeboys, just hanging out with each other every day anyway, really, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just hanging out every day, and like you said, as far as the name comes from, like you say, just whooping dudes, and I think they was like, who can drop somebody with the first punch, some shit like that, who can
right.
put down the quickest, or who can drop them the quickest, or he came over and put them down quick, or who can knock somebody out with the first punch or something.
Right.
Or some shit like that. So they was on that. And they really kind of on that. I was more the young niggas just with the crowd, and they my homeboys who I grew up with, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we was always out there just on that. We was just young, man, early teens, man. We weren't thinking about freaking friends, and we just wild as fuck. Just being out there.
Just wilding out.
Just wilding out. And the trip out thing about it, out of all of us, none of us had no daddy.
Exactly. Good point.
All of us that sounded even for like, hey, that old dude, but it's like, we didn't even hear that shit. Like, don't nobody, that's what we all had to come.
Okay.
We just do everything together. I mean, every fucking thing.
Okay, so it was a certain common factor, at least one of the common factors that brought y'all together. D-Lo, looking at today's, how they banging out there today, and you say y'all was on the knuckle game back then, even though y'all was wilding out, and we not here to tell young people to go out there and wild out, but it was a knuckle game, as y'all tell it, compared to what's going on today versus how P.D.Q was when they started out.
Shit, it's different, though. It's what time and era you in, though. That's like Kobe and Jordan.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You gotta relate it like that.
Okay. Now dates. I've talked to other people and they brought P.D.Q up in their stories, and most people point to Columbus. Is Columbus a factor when it comes to P.D.Q?
Yeah, Columbus is a big factor. That's kind of when it mainly started.
Okay. And at this point, D-Lo, you not in Columbus while they in Columbus.
No, I must be going to dinner.
Okay. Got you. Okay, go ahead, Dates.
That's when we kind of started saying P.D.Q, man. That's when we really got to get into it with like other little gangs. Because you got, when you think about it, this is early. This is like 90, 91, 92. So this is early 90s.
Okay.
You gotta think about the music. Everybody, all the teens in our era was influenced by fucking gangster rap.
Okay.
The West Coast, all the gangs, you know how they was the Crimson Club, how they, everything was gangs and all the music. So
right.
That's what we was on, and people. That's how, as I'm older now, I realize music got a lot to do with that shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like now, everything is about perks and business and everybody. That's what we was on.
Okay.
And we wasn't the only one on that. So those climate days when we would clash with other crews from other neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't no Crimson Blood shit we was on. We was our hood. We was 6 Mile P.D.Q. That was our hood. We might get into other hoods, and you know what I mean? And that's why Columbus, it kind of, those days when, we had to go to school strapped and, shoot all that shit started happening then.
Now, I'm old school. And historically in Detroit, I say the closest thing that we could have had that could have became was generational, like the Bloods and the Crips, or the GDs and the Vice Lords, the gangs out in the 70s with the Earl Flynns and the BKs. Gangs are not really like generational in Detroit like that. At some point, you may still represent it forever, but the activity of it may fizzle out. D-Lo, taking it back in the day, what gangs were you familiar with before the P.D.Q thing came about?
Like you said, all I knew about Earl Flynn and BK 2020.
Right.
The best friend.
The B-Wick Boys.
Okay. You got
Young Boys Incorporated.
Okay.
Curry Boys and all them.
Okay.
Some people I knew about.
Yeah, they had them B-Lights. They was on the west side, man. You go downtown, these dudes 100 deep. You just heard about the B-Light. These guys used to be massive deep. But Dates, in your opinion, before the P.D.Q thing, and you young at this time, but what gangs did you know about at that particular time?
I used to hear about, like the best friends and all that.
Okay.
I used to hear about some cross counters, CC, all that stuff.
Okay.
Of course, the Nutty Boys.
The Nutty Boys, for sure.
Of course, no.
HBO, you gotta put HBO in there too.
Yeah, I heard them before HBO. No, that's old school. That's old
yeah,
school.
for sure.
I heard that. What am I hearing about? I'm trying to think more around like east side, like Highway. That's mainly it. So, Chain with Chris heard about all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. This is Gangsta's Paradise. I got my guy Dates. I got D-Lo. D-Lo, give me a few people names in the crew.
Shit, we had Terry, like you said, Blue Skirt. J-Dub.
Okay.
It was Wolf.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. What about you, Dates?
Hmm?
What about you?
So, he gave you some of the names. Like he said, Rob, of course, Boo, Rob. We had man. A lot of dudes that's gone. Like you said, we had, like you said, Perry was calling him Stretch, and we had another Stretch named Justin. He just passed a couple years ago. He lives around the corner on Hazelwood.
Okay.
He knows him. He goes John and Cotton, yeah, right down the street from me.
Right.
We had Tone lives on the next block from me.
Mm-hmm.
On Hazel Ridge, 1 block over.
Okay.
And, you know, of course, Wayne over there, 1 block over on Tulsa.
Right.
And then you have a J now.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, they lived on Spring Garden down the street from the stove.
Okay.
You had we had Shicey F. His name was, he lived on Spring Garden. We had
Smoke, you know.
just Smoke,
Yeah.
Little Round, right on they was right on Rochelle.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
It was a lot, man. We see deep walk around that hood, man. But we was all just homeboys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we just came up with a thing, but we really was just homeboys. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you know,
Mm-hmm.
we was making some little crazy noise back then.
Yeah.
Just young and wild. We was making a little noise at school, you know what I mean?
Okay. Now, D-Lo, what was the criteria to actually be a P.D.Q member or able to represent P.D.Q?
It's just family, man. Like he said, it was really mostly like niggas from people from the neighborhood going to who else you be able to go spend the night at.
Okay.
Well, if I ain't over there, I can still go there, man. My house, you gonna let me in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what PD. We was a family.
Right.
So and then all the other motherfuckers came in that wanted to be down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You couldn't just come out and just be anybody, come out of nowhere and say, like, we already knew them, they was already around us anyway, so that was kind of bullshit, but you couldn't just, it wasn't no anybody that's going to be around. Like, say if you brought somebody around,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, nah, man, this is my man, he cool, you know what I mean, so he can be, you know, fulfilling, but he's not going to be, like, you know, really, like, one of the ones, but ain't nobody going to, you know, fuck with him, because, you know, that's your people, you brought him around, you know what I'm saying?
You might tell a nigga go to the store and get some drinks all the time, they can spend his money up.
Right, yeah, you got to,
So y'all had a couple of send-outs, huh? Y'all gonna run to the stove types around, huh? It had to be those, huh? Dig that. Okay. Now, you guys are young. Now, for me, when P.D.Q came to my attention, the name P.D.Q is the first day I met Eternal. Dates. You was actually telling me about this story with Eternal. Everybody know him as Rob Lee. His stage name was Eternal. So obviously you already had this going on for a couple of years, because I didn't know he was actually locked up. So when I first met him, after he got out. But tell me the story about Rob and him getting locked up and all that stuff.
Well, no, yeah, with the, I think, you go to jail back through with that shit happening in Columbus?
Oh, no, I ain't go for that. No. There
was a situation in Columbus, he got into it with some, with his other crew, he called himself Lynch. I was really one in school. And I got into it with like 2 of them. And we was scrapping in there, or whatever. Principal, matter of fact, the police came and locked us up. So the females, like our homegirls that was with us, you know, that kicked it with us, you know, from the same tip, like Swan and Quad and all them, they was going there too, and Barty and them, they bust up, went to the hood, told them, you know, told the fella, like, yeah, they jumped down there, and they jumped on down there. All them was in Rob backyard whooping. So we made that school, told all of them niggas went up to school, they went up there, went into school, went to each classroom, looking for dudes, snatching dudes out the classroom.
Yeah, I remember that day too.
Yeah, they was whooping in all up, you know, in the hallway, snatching them out the class, what I heard. Police came, they called the police, you know, the dudes who they whooped, forgot the dude's name, man, but who they whooped, he told the police that they came in there and put out a gun on him and all this. So he told them who it was, P.D.Q, whatever, they went to Rob Cribs, and they locked them boys up. Them and Jay, a couple of people got locked up for that. They were juvenile still, but they still did about 3 years in juvenile off of that. They ain't had no gun. They just up there and kicked their ass.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how he went to jail on that. But I remember before that happened, Rob was always like a rapper. Rob was always rap. Rob was rapping shit. got on that.
Now, you talking about the 6 Mile thing. I think I joined on to that movement probably around 86 or something like that. So we basically created that movement right there. And I look at P.D.Q as actually took it around the city, really left out of the neighborhood representing it. You know what I'm saying? So when they say 6 Mile, we say 6 Mile, we talking about the same 6 Mile. But as OGs in that particular neighborhood, and shouts out to 6 Mile Chuck. That's my guy. That's like my brother. Like, we see eye to eye on so much stuff, and we be talking about a lot of stuff and, you know, having conversations and all that. But as OGs, man, how did you, D-Lo, how did y'all view us as OGs in that neighborhood?
Big bro, though. Shit. If we get too hatchet, man, they run over to get to these niggas, man. There's plenty of time shit to have like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, man, shit, fuck that. I'm about to go get these niggas, man.
Okay.
You know, shit, big brother. That's why we would do what we did. We had motherfuckers like y'all. Chuck, no.
Okay. What about you, Dates?
Yeah, kind of the same. Watching them motherfuckers, some motherfuckers and people and shit. And then, you know, just watching how they was running. They kind of was running around. They was running around the same way too, but theirs was kind of on another level. Now, you don't speak about too much, but I know one thing, they just running into them, they used to always come fuck with us. Like, they just pull up on us and just, you know, yeah, what y'all is doing, like, you know, they used to give niggas like a ride, like he had his truck. Yeah, pickup, like everybody jumping the pickup, you know, all the niggas jumping the pickup, then take them for a ride, then tell them to eat land and tell them to get the fuck out, make them walk back. They do shit like that, too. You know what I mean? Or,
okay.
They'll put up on just get out the car. You know, we might not that deep, and they'll just walk up with somebody, just pick their bikes up, and just slam their bikes and just break their shit in half, and just do shit. You know, they just do shit like that, just fuck with them.
Yeah, for sure. So, let the audience know Chuck and Dace is actually brothers. My brother, he probably wasn't considered P.D.Q or whatever, but he was around.
He was sick, bro. Yeah, he was out.
Okay.
Phil. You know, Phil too.
Yeah, little Phil, but man, little Phil was off the chain.
Yeah. Well, you know, guns, they mostly was on spring, you know, spring, guns, left spring, you know what they was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's that shit.
And Guns was tight with us when we party. When we hang out, Guns gonna be hanging. You know, Guns like to hang. So he gonna be with us when we hanging, when we got our hanging phase. Phil, back when we was out there, Phil was one of the niggas that, I don't give a fuck who was getting into it with it. All other groups are scared of Phil. They just ain't want no parts of that nigga. Phil was one of my boys just scared. They ain't want no parts of Phil.
Phil was off the chain over there. I know Phil very well. His brother, Corey, Bobby. Shouts out to Bobby, man. Yeah.
But like you said, it was all the friends. Like you said, where my brother them 6 Mile. It was just a big family. You know, we were just a younger version of them.
Exactly.
Trying to, you know, then we saw them get money. Saw y'all. I like to see you now. You know, I just remember you have that. You got that black. I think it was like a black Trans Am or something. Bang, always had some bangs or something.
Yeah.
Coming right down the street. I used to see y'all just like, yeah, them niggas getting. Yeah, they get money. I just had that in my mind as a young age, like.
We right here on Gangsta's Paradise, man. You know what? It's a family thing, man. You know, I really feel good having these guys on this program right here. What comes along with the streets is rivalries. Let's talk about some of the rivalries. D-Lo, who was some of y'all rivalries, in your opinion?
CP, Lynch Mob, the 8-Ball crew.
Okay.
The East Warren niggas.
Okay.
And the whole East Side, they went for 6 Mile. We was like beefing with them basically on everything.
Okay. What about you, Dates? Give me an intense rivalry. Give me somebody you really had an intense rivalry with.
It was like you said, it was all them. Mm-hmm. And right in our hood, but it was like we had a borderline, like.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, you know, from 6 miles to 7 miles, right?
Okay.
From 6 miles to 7 miles. So this mile, they area was kind of like from 7 miles all the way back to probably about like
Park Road or something.
Glenwood and Park Road or something. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
we was like, you know, we would take the really all the way down, but we probably wouldn't go past Park Road. We wouldn't go past Glenwood.
Okay.
Because Glenhurst, they little block was a block over from Glenwood.
Okay.
So we wouldn't go past that block. You can go past that block, you know, you better be strapped or, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But they was just from the same area. They was deep just like us. They was, you know, they was wrong just like us. And, you know, we was all young, so, you know.
To Ty Strong flying around. To Ty Strong flying around.
A lot of testosterone flying around. So, you know, we, you know, get into it. You know, we messed with some of the same females, with some of the same schools. So, you know, it was like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And we just always class with them. You know, first you came started out, you know, fights and stuff.
Okay.
And then, you know, gunplay came into it. You know, and then that's when it got kind of serious. You know, that's when, you know, people, you know, started getting, you know, shot, this and that, and it got serious. You know what I mean?
Okay. And
You know, it took to, as we got older. You know what I mean? Like older. I'm saying like late 20s, or mid 20s, late 20s, when it really chilled out. I remember being over this one girlfriend, you know, rest in peace, she passed now, but I remember being over her house. One of her brothers was them, right?
Okay.
So I'm at her house chilling, and they pulling up out the front like 4, 5 cars deep. Like, oh damn, that's my brother. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's them.
Right.
I'm like, man, you know what I mean? All the years we've been big with these people.
Damn.
They coming in, you know, deep boom, smoking in, they drinking shit. So I'm sitting on the couch with her. She's like, don't you straight? I'm like, you know, damn. So I fired up a cigarette and shit. I fired up a cigarette and shit. I'm like, I'm solo, I ain't got no gun. So I'm sitting there, they come in. And so first they looking like, do that. They like, that's wrong. Like, they're like, Robert Lee. So the boy like, oh man, that's gay. So I'm like, oh, Dad, what's up? I'm like, what's up, man? Like, man, we thought you was Robert Lee, dog. We was gonna fuck you up.
Damn.
So, you know, they still want to get robbed. It's, you know, years, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And they was deep. And I'm like, oh, they were like, okay, like, yeah, oh, yeah. But one, they knew I had been kicking it with the sister, you know what I'm saying? But I never run into them.
Right.
So they was sitting out, but they just tripped me out. How they like, we thought you was robbed, man. We was, you know, so I'm like, damn.
Okay. Dig that.
So like, yeah, like straight up. But they ain't do nothing. They just killed, you know, they see me hurt too. They bust on like, we gonna get out here, we gonna let y'all. They bust up. They ain't, you know, they ain't even say shit.
Okay. D-Lo. Let's talk about my guy Boo Scurv. That was my guy, man. Give me your opinions on Boo Scurv.
Man, that's my baby, man. That nigga Boo, bro, that's motherfucker. That's Boo, my nigga. I love him.
Okay.
Yeah, Boo. Shit, he go anywhere. No, Boo was the motherfucker that go to your house. You gotta go to school, but he's still there. He knew.
Right.
That was my guy, though, man. Yeah, definitely love Boo Scurv, man. Rest in peace to Boo Scurv.
Careless, scurvy nigga too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was down with the movement for sure. So, he represented. Let's talk about dates. Little money started flowing around in the neighborhood, like you said. Like we was on that last segment talking about, you know, money floating in the neighborhood, and you know, is a reason because there's a lot of stuff coming through the neighborhood to make money off of.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about I guess you could say drugs in the neighborhood. Give me your thoughts on it.
From my point of view, from what I saw, what I seen, man. You know, I'm younger than y'all, so you know, from what I knew about drugs, really, you know, was just watching, you know, watching y'all, watching my brother and watching how he coming to the crib, you know what I mean? Like, my, what I can really say is how, you know, I paid in full was my man Mitch Cole.
Exactly.
Broke,
yeah.
and he
Okay.
was doing his fizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like, that's how I was, you know, watching him come through. That's just how I was, you know what I mean? That's how I seen it. You know what I mean? I just seen, you know, out there doing their thug thing. And most of my homeboys, they were getting their stacks at a young age from them, and other people was going out of town. They started going out of town, shit, hustling for niggas going to Ohio, going here. Mm-hmm. I ain't never go because I was so young, but they would start doing their thing too, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about you, D-Lo? Talk about the hustle game in the hood.
Yeah. Spring Garden Slash Scene, that's where it's getting sacks from Terrence, Bobby, and all them niggas out there just rolling at loose stores. You know? It was like a movie, like you said, paid in full movie. Niggas out on the block chilling, everybody's fresh, got their coats on, you know, living.
Okay.
It's like a real movie.
Exactly. And let the audience know y'all may see a P.D.Q movie somewhere down the line. And I agree with both of y'all. I believe, this is my opinion, if you look at a movie like the Bible to the Streets, I say paid in full. That's my personal opinion. That's like the black version of Scarface, in my opinion. And I agree with both of y'all on that.
Yeah, I agree that paid in full. That is a good ass movie about the street, because that's how it really be happening.
Exactly.
Be eerie and jealous.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the climate of hate for a minute. Dates, give me your opinion on. I mean, you don't even know this guy. You ain't had no dealings with this guy, but he just all of a sudden just hates you. Let's talk about it. What's your opinion on something like that?
Shit, well, I think I experienced that a few times.
Okay.
We was at, I don't know if you remember Dallas, but we was at a little club Dallas.
Okay.
And I'm on the video game and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing a video game. I remember a dude, they was just like five, and they just had it like, yeah, that nigga there, they fuck that nigga there. You know, I'm like, oh, look at it, like, yeah, fuck that nigga. I'm like, man, I don't even know these dudes, dog.
Okay.
And, but I know it comes from, you know, we was in school now, you know, being with all my homeboys, you know, we was doing our, you know, our name, and then, you know, not to, you know, I was kind of, once I got a little older, all the rest of all them, they wasn't in school no more. They just come up here and everything. I was still in school, so a lot of, you know, I was cool with a lot of people. Everybody knew that. They knew who I fucked with. They knew people. So my name was a little, you know, Ray, you know, being fresh in school, you know, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And so dudes was kind of hating, you know, like that, I guess. You know, I'm cool with all the females and all that people.
Exactly.
I'm like, what, man? Nigga, fuck y'all. They all right, nigga, whatever, we get this and that. Like, man, all right, so I'll go and walk into the park with a, you know, the party, with a dance floor and shit. I'm saying, you know, I think I'm letting people know, like, man, these dudes out here on this and that, you know, boom, boom. They're like, who, right, this and that. And, you know, so we come out, you know, bold dudes, they was kind of deep, so we get out, we get out, we go outside, go to the car. I remember we getting ready to go to the car. I remember seeing Contrail walking up. Him and what that was little dude, another little black little
Hitman.
That was his
name. Yeah, little Hitman.
I think that was his name. They was walking up as we coming out. I'm telling them like, yeah, man, these niggas in here. Man, so we finna go grab these. Kind of like, whoa, where? He got his stuff on him. He's like, whoa, where that? I'm like, man, he just started blah. He just started blasting. Everybody got the fuck. We didn't get a chance to get to the car. You know what I mean? And everybody just bust up. But that come from, you know, names being out there. You know, that wasn't even only. We had another situation in the mall like that.
Okay.
I was trying to talk to this girl, this female at the mall walking, and I don't know if you was at the mall, but we hollered at this female.
I heard about you with Sandra and John that was up there.
Yeah, and you know, she kicking it, and then I didn't know she was with some dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So the dudes come out the store, and he like, fuck that nigga there, they go, fuck him, you know, I'm like, damn, I'm like, you with them? She's like, yeah, like, nigga, you know, they just, you know, they go on there, I'm like, yeah, okay. Now, he was kind of deep, there's about 5, 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back to the other store, it's like me, Shiloh, Tones, like, I think Boo was there, Man, it's probably about 10 of us.
Mm-hmm.
We going back to the store when they at. When we walk in the store, Charles just, we ain't gonna want to fight. He just tired on the board. We just scrapping all up through the mall. You know what I mean? We just whooping it all through the mall. You know, boom, boom, boom. Police come, they grab a couple of them, but we get up out of there.
Okay.
That, you know, that shit was just shit, part of just fucking, you know,
Being you.
Growing up in the hills. So, I mean, it wasn't no big deal to me.
Okay. What about you, D-Lo? Let's talk about the climb of hate. Let's talk about the climbing of hate. So I see D-Lo. I just don't like D-Lo, man. I hate D-Lo. Talk about your experiences with something like that.
First, I could say some shit like that. I really can't experience that. I was like that. I was cool with everybody.
Okay.
The only person hate me because I was from 6 Mile.
Okay.
That's it. They like, that's one of them 6 Mile niggas, isn't it? And then it go from there. But besides that, I was cool with everybody, like from different hoods and everywhere. Like to this day, I could go anywhere on the east side with the older crowd, you know what I'm saying? But I no hate, 'cause I always got the cool, got the wine and solid.
Okay. You got D-Lo. You got Dace. This is Gangsta's Paradise. Subscribe to this channel. Click that like button. Clicking that like button help the video circulate on YouTube.